Hello and welcome to the second video on the channel. Parts still ain't showing up for the Yamaha over here. So we're going to be working on this whole international pickup truck today. It needs a water pump. Don't know how you can see it, but yeah, that's not supposed to move up and down. The bearing and the seal are blown out of the shaft, so new one it will be. But obviously, put new one on, gotta take the old one off. I'm probably gonna have to get some lighting in here, but got a couple bolts on the fan, some Phillips screws in the pulley, that'll be fun. And then a big square block they call a water pump comes off with 4 bolts. Never seen a square water pump, but hey, there's a first for everything. And this is an original international motor, 304 cubic inch, built by International Harvester, the very same as the tractors. It's got 27,000 miles on it, and that's original miles, not 100. 27,000. And most of it is left alone. I've actually got the original carb, but the base plate's cracked and I can't find a good one, so right now adapter and a 4-barrel. But runs good and it drives good when the water pump's working right. So I'm gonna get some lights and I'm gonna get up in here with some tools and put y'all in the stand, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I got y'all on the stand, I got some light on it. We'll start pulling this pan off. A whole lot of fun pulling the fan off the radiator end. Not only do you gotta watch and make sure you don't smash up the drawer, you gotta make sure you don't cut yourself on the fan. Alright, only got one more bolt. Run into it just a little bit here. There we go. Give the old fan a little wiggle. Come on. Easy. That's a horrible noise. Come on. Off of there, nice. Don't you come out and smash my radiator now. I know that's what you want to do. Wait. I'm gonna work this thing quite a bit. There we go. I wonder why they do fan blades like that. You got 2 real close together and then a big gap and then 3 spread. Probably for weight or balance or something, I guess. Because I don't know what else the point would be. Now, I gotta see what I can do about them Phillips screws that are down in there. I'm sure those are gonna be a whole lot of fun. Maybe one of these will do it. Or maybe not. About 10 sizes too small. That's about 11 sizes too small. A big bit from my impact screwdriver. Unfortunately, it won't fit down in here. Yeah, that fits better. And a 5/16 socket with T-handle on it. Let's see what we can accomplish with that. A whole lot of nothing. This is gonna be fun. Feeling wanting to cam out. Oh. I don't believe that's gonna go. I think I'm gonna have to I think I'm gonna have to take the belts and the water pump off and try and get them out on the bench. So I'm gonna have to get into it with an impact screwdriver and hammer on them. And there just ain't no room down in there to be doing it with this. Give y'all a little adjustment here. There. Maybe that'll be a little better. Go ahead and break all them loose first. Then I'll run them out. Well, I'll break them all loose and then I'll get the belts. Right there is going to be the fun one. Yep. Of course, the one that's hardest to get to, and you're most likely to break your knuckles on, is the one that's tightest. I got him. Yeah, there we go. Nice thing, let it. Come on, Mr. Wrench. There you go. And now one more. They really did have tractor on the mind when they were building these, which I'm fine with for the most part. That means they're strong. I know a lot of people out there don't like Internationals. They like their John Deeres. I ain't never seen a successful John Deere pickup truck. But these IHs sold pretty well. In some states out west, they about outsold Chevrolet and Ford. Now don't tell me. Okay, never mind. I know how I can get around it. I was about to say the water pump always got to come off for the bolts to come out of the water pump because they're too long. But once I get the belts off and I get them all loose, I can break the water pump loose from the block and just walk it all out as one. So, crises averted. Hope I didn't screw them up. I don't think so. Not like V-belts for a 66 International motor are hard to get a hold of. I'm being sarcastic. Took the parts store 3 days to get a hold of 2 of them. Because they're weird length. Go figure. Weird truck, weird length. Anyway, back to the task at hand. Water pump. I suppose when I'm running these bolts out a little bit, talking about International, they were founded way back at the start of the 1900s. Somewhere around 1920, I think, is when International Harvester itself was founded. The companies that formed it were older than that, but they were kind of a combination of McCormick Deering and what was the old harvester company called? I think it was McCormick Deering and some thresher company merged or partnered or something, and you got International Harvester out of it. Of course, International is pretty well known for their tractors and their semi-trucks, but they made a lot of other stuff too, like pickup trucks, the Scouts, which are fairly well known. They also made deep freezers, refrigerators, air conditioners, and I've just screwed up. I got that wrench stuck. Air conditioners, refrigerators, pickup trucks, the Scouts, semis, tractors, combines, equipment, steam engines, old steam tractors. I think International was formed before they quit making them. I could be wrong on that one. one other thing they did make that I know for sure is they made rifles. Yep, some of the rifles for World War II were made by International Harvester, as well as all the other stuff I mentioned. Now, of course, Alice Chalmers also made a bunch of stuff that wasn't tractors, but I don't know anything John Deere made that wasn't a seed drill, a harvester, or a tractor. Never heard of the John Deere truck. I certainly ain't never heard of the John Deere fridge. No, I ain't saying John Deere's bad. I ain't got no problem with their tractors. Some of their current business practices, we'll say, I think need to stop, as do a lot of people. But in terms of their old tractors and stuff, there ain't nothing wrong with them. I ain't never really been a big fan of the Pop and John's, the old 2-cylinders, but that's just because they ain't really my thing. Again, no trouble with them. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what color the tractor is, it doesn't matter where it was built, it doesn't matter whose name's on it. They all put food on the table. They all feed the world. Some other information about these Internationals is these pickup trucks. This one is an 1100A 1966 variety, four-wheel drive, 4-speed transmission with the 304 V8 in it. They were optioned with a couple different straight sixes. I don't know the straight sixes super well. There's black diamond, blue diamond, silver diamond, a couple of them. I don't know which ones are available in these, but I know you get them with 6-cylinder. I believe in '66 was the first year you could get them with a 4-cylinder, which is this motor, pretty much cut in half. Just this bank over here, just the passenger's bank. I think they run the same head and exhaust manifold as this motor. In fact, I could be wrong, but I think they do. The other options were a 345 V8, and in some of the trucks, I don't know if this particular one would have been optionable with it, but in some of the trucks you could get a 392 V8, which was a dump truck engine. So you could get one of these trucks with a dump truck engine, a dump truck transmission, and have a half-ton pickup truck. So they were built strong. These weren't built for any light work. This they considered a half-ton, but it's got a whole lot of strength for being a half-ton, and a lot of spring under the rear end too. I've had 1,000 pounds in the bed of this truck, and I don't think it was on the helper springs yet. So I don't know how International measured their weight, but it wasn't with no scale I have. And it wasn't with no unit I know. There goes the rest of the water that didn't drain out. I did open the radiator drain a few days ago. Apparently that did not drain everything. Luckily it's mostly water, because I flushed it with water to try and find where the leak was. Because when I got it home, there was coolant sprayed all over under this hood. It was coated top to bottom. This insulation rag they got on the bottom of the hood. Oh, this is soaked. Oh boy, that ain't good. I'm gonna have to clean that out. There's a lot of corrosion down in that hole. But we have a water pump. Ain't nothing real fancy. That's a square plate with an impeller on it. And a big pulley. Really not that bad to pull, all things considered. Alright, got my hammer driven screwdriver ready. Sorry about the heater, it's blowing right on us again. But I like working when it's a little warm. So I tried my other screwdriver and it spit the end of it out, so I don't know what that means. Not anything good, I'm sure. I also don't like that. May have to go try some heat. That one's also not moving. Doing real great so far. Hey, got one. I don't think 1 out of 4 is enough, but at least that's one I won't have to cut off. Yeah, how about that? Them look like 5/16. I'm putting bolts in instead of them. I'm not putting them back in. Well, I might have put them back in. I just seen why they did it. There ain't no room. Ain't no room at all for a bolt. There we go. Maybe I just need to hit it harder. I got a bigger hammer. Well, that's 2. I'm gonna try my bigger hammer. See if I can't miss and break my hand here. Throwing wrenches. And hammers. That's doing an A-class job at knocking everything off my bench. I don't think it's making a screw move. Try a little more with the lighter hammer. Nope, no turn. Try the big one over here, and then go on to something else. Probably a chisel. Oh, that one's round. Okay, that's what I figured. When in doubt, chisel. Maybe. That's also not moving. Well, I can hammer it some more. I'm gonna try some heat. See what I can get with it there. Got the can of oil. Got the can of heat. Here's some warm. Try and heat where it's at from the underside too. let it wick that heat in, or let it wick the oil in for a second. The point of doing that is when you get them hot, the metal all expands and the pores open up. You get that oil on it, and not only is that oil trying to get down into the metal anyway, the heat with the pores being opened up will let the oil in faster, and the oil will cool the metal down quickly, which can actually help to shock the corrosion that might be holding our screw in here. If it's rusted up on the threads, that heat and cold will shock the threads. They'll shrink and grow. It can break the rust loose. So I'm gonna boil it a little more. If I can get this thing light. Dang it. Rounding up. Try chiseling it now. And just like that, it's starting to turn. Well, what do you know? Little oil and a little heat, and it'll come right out. I'll give you $5 to pick that up. I think we'll let Mr. Magnet do that. Yep, right there, that little bit of rust down on the end of that. That's what was holding us up. That heat and that shock broke it right out. If I can't use bolts, I'll find some more of these screws. They're nothing super hard to get. This is a weird application for them, but a Phillips headed 5/16, so I think I probably have a couple. What I'll probably do is I'll see if I can get him an Allen head to save myself a headache next time. Because Allens won't strip as easy. Alright. So now we're going to repeat the process and see if we get lucky twice. Another good method you can use with heat is if you don't have any oil, if you got some water, you can get it up real hot. Splash some cold water on it. That'll do the same thing, just without the oil. It won't have the oiling that will, but that hot cold shock can still break the screw free. I don't recommend doing that on an exhaust manifold because it can break the cast iron. But on something like this, you'll probably find. You do want to You do want to be a little bit careful doing that, because the hot oil might splash back at you, and 400-degree oil don't feel good. It really don't. Now obviously this ain't ideal doing something with nice paint, but this thing's paint ain't exactly the nicest. And also, I'm a little worried about getting the thing functional again and keeping it pretty. There you go. Just like that. Heat and oil works wonders. That's another screw coming out. There we are. This guy's cooled off, so we'll go ahead and pull this one up. That one didn't have as much rust. That one may have come out with just a chisel, and it may have come out with a hammer driver had I not started around it first with the regular bit. But either way, I'm gonna let that cool down for a little bit. Then I'm gonna go ahead and work it up off. I'm actually gonna put I don't know if that's coming off a water pump or off a pulley, so I'm going to put a little oil around that. Since the whole water pump I'm sure is warm now, let that soak down in a little bit, and maybe the pulley will come up off easy later. But I'm going to let that cool. I'm going to clean the gasket surface, and I'll bring the camera back when I'm ready to start putting the new one in. Alright, here we are back. Got the new water pump. Turns a lot nicer than the old one. Actually feels like it's got a bearing in it. Got the old water pump pulley. This thing's about as big as around as a car tire. And Allen heads, so I won't strip them next time I gotta do this. Those will work a lot better. You don't want to run one down in and tighten it immediately, or you might warp something. So we're going to run them all down close, and then I'm going to go around torquing them all slow. That should keep everything nice and straight. If you're wondering why the water pump itself has so many holes in it, one set, I don't know which set's which, one set's for a straight fan like this, and one set's for a fan with a clutch on it. That's too fancy for anything I own, so straight mechanical fan for me. I got the gasket surface all cleaned up on the engine. Unfortunately, it's a little bit rough, so I'm going to have to use some sealer on the gasket, which I was probably going to anyway. I don't feel like doing this a second time. So far it hasn't been that bad, but I know how that goes. I'm not going super tight on these since they were just Phillips screws before. I doubt torque on them was very high. Just go until the washers are crushed, And we're gonna call that good. Better or worse, it's on there. So I'm gonna pull it up out and get it over to the truck, and I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Alright, got me some gray silicone gasket maker. I'm gonna go ahead and make us good sealing surface here. Not using a whole ton, just enough to make sure that it seals, especially since the gasket's broke. I don't know if I did that when I opened the box or if it come that way, but I'm going to put some sealer around it, it'll be okay. I'm going to put some sealer on the water pump down here. Actually, I'm going to clean the water pump off first. Probably wouldn't have hurt to clean out the threads and the bolt holes first, but can't do everything right. Gotta do some of it a little wrong. Just trying to get all these bolts in so I can get this thing down before my sealer starts set up. Should have a couple minutes. But once that stuff starts to set up, it'll get really fun really quick. If I don't have the pump in, well, I can start over. So I pull it all off and clean the sealer off. It won't be no fun for anyone. I think I've got all 4 of the bolts started in now. I'll get this one in a little more. I have some room to get my ratcheting end on it. Once I get that up on it, it'll go faster. Go tight with it yet. I'm gonna get them all run down and torque these even as well. I don't feel like breaking a brand new water pump. This bottom bolt is really easy to get to, if you can't tell. I mean, the wrench just falls right up in there. Ain't nothing in the way. Alright, just to get a little tension on it. Go ahead and make sure this one is. It is not. Pull down on him some. Come over here. And pull down on the bottom one a little bit. And get this top one a little bit. And get this top one a little bit. Go ahead and give them all a final little torque here. And there you go. That is one installed water pump. It still spins just fine, so I didn't hurt nothing. That's good. Next thing I gotta do is get the fan on and get the belts on. We'll be ready to put some coolant in this and see if it leaks. Hopefully it won't. Alright. Got my fan. We'll weave it down in here. I'm not going to paint it because it matches the patina of the rest of the truck that way. One thing I probably should have done first was check which set of holes I'm supposed to use on this fan, but I'm going to take a guess at that set. Yeah, note to anybody else doing this, check which set of holes you need first. A lot easier when you're not crunched up against the radiator. There we go, heater again. Always on when I'm trying to do something. I'll try that maybe. That's better. Mine's right up. That's not saying the bolts are going to fall in, because they're probably not. They're probably going to fall down. Okay, I got one started. Once there's one in, since this has got a little alignment on the center, once one's in, they should all go in. That's two. Alright, that's all of them started. So we'll go ahead and get the ratchet down on them now. Start bringing them all tight. Again, as with the last two sets of bolts, working back and forth, there's no hurry. Try not to beat up the radiator too much. This is the original radiator from 1966, and all I've had to do so far is solder one leak, so I'd really like to not beat it up. Alright, those are torqued. Last thing to do is get the belts back on and fill it with fluid. Once I get the belts back on, I'll probably wait 15-20 minutes or so, let that sealer set up. I don't want to have it leak because I put coolant to it too fast. It probably won't, but I ain't really in no big hurry. So, might as well err on the side of caution. I'm sure the fact that this alternator is tensioned as far as it'll go will not come back to bite me later. Well, it shouldn't, because it's tensioned that far, because that's how the spring works down lower. Only lasts that much tension on the belt, so I guess as long as it's sprung, yeah, that should be fine. Good grip. So I'll let this sealer dry for 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then put some coolant in the truck, and I'll bring y'all back when I get there, and maybe it'll leak, or maybe we'll be pulling it out of the building. Well, that's probably it for this video. Got it on there, got it set up, full of coolant. I don't see nothing leaking. I don't know if y'all can see down in there, but it looks drier on the pump. Radiator's staying up. I'm gonna let it run and get warm, and probably take it for a little drive and make sure, but I think that's gonna do it for today. So if y'all enjoyed watching, keep an eye out for the next video on the channel. Otherwise, go find somebody else to watch. Bye.